Jan, welcome. Good to have you with us.
Good to be here.
You know, our next guest, or one of our next guests, Sheila Bair, is going to say that she sees inflation nowhere near its peak and not peaking until 2023. You don't really agree. I think that may put you in a bit of a minority. Explain why you don't think inflation is going to be the sort of discouraging valent that causes consumers to pull back.
Well, I'm really concerned about inflation. I lived through it last time. You know, I was there in 82, 80, 81, all those years when it was really, really tough in the business. So I'm very concerned about it. I think, though, we're about to see a peak, and I'm guessing mid-year this year. Could she be right? 2023, I don't know. But at some point in time, we're about to see a peak. In the meantime, the consumer seems very, very healthy. Everybody has a job. We're seeing actually growth in the workforce for the first time in a long time. People who get a job believe they can keep it. If they lose it, they think they can get a better job. They can make more money. They're trading up. There's a lot of good things happening with consumers. So I don't think we're going to see much resistance to price in the near term. Some point in time we will. When we do, that would be a problem. But I suspect by then inflation will start ameliorating. So it's not that I'm not concerned about it. I just think that the consumer is going to overwhelm it with their $3 trillion of extra cash that they're sitting on, and the fact that they've all got a job and look like they can have rising wages. So I believe we'll go forward and things will be fine. But yeah, I'm worried about it. I'm worried about the fact that it costs more to ship goods. But I also think that's getting better right now. We've got fewer boats on the water, not more boats on the water. I really don't think we're going to lock down for a long time in China. If we were, that'd be a problem. But I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think it's going to be better on that side than it was last year, not worse. And we handled it fine last year.
There are so many variables here, including the possibility of U.S. economic retaliation if China steps in as a major supporter of Russia in Ukraine. But let me ask you about two things that I do think concern consumers right now. One is gas prices. I mean, you fill up an SUV, which almost every American household seems to have, and you're spending at least $20 more than you did, say, a year ago. Do that a couple of times a week, a few times a month, and you're looking at serious money for the average American consumer. That's number one. And I think if you ask most Americans today, do you feel safe about the world? Do you feel safe? They will say no.
That's my biggest concern. On the other hand, ISI just ran its consumer comfort survey, and consumer comfort is as good as it's been in a very, very long time. Why would that be? Because they have the ability to spend and they're comfortable going and doing things because they're not as afraid of COVID as they were. So we've got things going both ways. I'm watching consumer confidence very closely because I'm concerned about the consumer getting freaked out about the Ukraine, getting freaked out about inflation and gas prices. They're not showing me that that's happening so far. Will that eventually happen? Yes. But that happens when they start feeling like they can't afford to do what they want to do. And right now what they're saying is, I can afford to do what I want to do, and I'm going to go do it, whether you like it or not.